Hi, Jim Carey here again, and today I'm going to talk about how easy it is to do sprouting in your own kitchen. We talk about the value of sprouts, but you know they're expensive at the store. $7 for this little tin, this little tub. Meanwhile, we can grow our own sprouts for 3 to 5 cents for $8 worth. So, for starters, all I'm doing in the kitchen, I'm growing them in mason jars. I take a wide mouth mason jar and I'm growing them in here, and I've got a dish rack set up by the window. That's east, so that's the morning sun. But it's not so much about direct sunlight, it's just about having plenty of sunlight. The same reason I cut this window into the wall here. And because of draining, I have that rack on a dish drainer, and you want to change the towel from time to time. It gets a little funky. I mean, it will if you don't change it. So I just got an old towel I set it on. And there's just a few steps to this. First off, twice a day, I want to take my sprouts and rinse them out. And by rinsing them, I'm watering them. So these are sprouts that have been growing for a few days. And I think tap water is fine for rinsing. Now we're going to soak seeds in a minute. And for soaking seeds, we're going to use filtered water. But no, I don't have any chlorine in my water. It's well water. I've had it tested. I know it's high in iron. But other than that, it's good water. For city water, if I had city water with chlorine, even for rinsing, I'd be using filtered water. And the solution for filtered water is not to go out and buy all those jugs and not know what you're getting, but to put an under sink filtration system like this in, and $200-300, 2 or 3 stages with a charcoal filter, and you can take out everything, including the chlorine. Out here, the concern with country water is herbicides and pesticides, and that's why I sprung for the $400 test, just to make sure I didn't have any. But I know I've got good clean water, so the well water is fine. I leave them upside down for a minute or two. Rinse them a bit, pour them out. And I'd like to show you this neat little trick. For ages I have been using rubber bands to hold these on, and of course the rubber bands break and things. But then a friend showed me that, and this filter cloth here, you can use cheesecloth. This is what they call hardware cloth, or you and I would call it window screening. And use this window screen. The lighter the better. This one's pretty heavy. But if you just gently find the place, works so much better than rubber bands. So twice a day, I rinse my sprouts and dump them upside down for a minute or two to drain. I usually do that before I start breakfast. Now, for making new sprouts, we take our wide mouth mason jars, and let's see, we'll start here. Organic seeds, always organic seeds. Organic's more important than being raw. I got these from wheatgrasskits.com, but Bulk Nuts for You has organic seeds. There's lots of sources on the internet, lots of sources on eBay. This is a 3-part salad mix with alfalfa, radish, and broccoli. I like alfalfa a lot, and that is the easiest seed. That is the easiest seed to grow. But I found these mixes are really great, really great. So I've got maybe a couple teaspoonfuls of seed in the bottom of the jar. And I take a piece of cheesecloth, hardware cloth, and just gently fudge it around until I get the threads to catch. Now, we're going to soak these seeds. The smaller and lighter the seed, the less you have to soak them. Technically, the alfalfa seeds we could soak for 4 hours would be enough, but it doesn't hurt to soak everything overnight. So I'm going to run filtered water in there. And for soaking, I do think it's important to use filtered water. So about half full, and I'm just going to sit them over here by the window. And since I'm doing this at noon, before I go to bed tonight, I'll drain them off and put them in the drainer. Now this is radish seeds. These are powerful. Don't use a lot of them in your smoothies. You'll taste them. And again, about the same amount in the jar. I like to keep the label on them and keep them in the bag, so I just put them in another baggie in my storage tin. I've also got a 5-part salad mix, and this is alfalfa, radish, mung bean, lentil, and broccoli. Another great one. Sunflower seeds. Now, sunflower seeds is a heavy seed. They need at least 12 hours of soaking. Oops, I'm making a mess. And you can put more of them in. I've got, almost an inch of sunflower seeds in there. Other good ones are green peas. And, I really enjoyed this one. I'm out. Protein Powerhouse Blend, which was adzuki, garbanzo, mung bean, and snow peas. Clover. I mean, I like them even better than alfalfa. They're great. So I'm out of a couple. Let's see. So, cover over our jars. Put our lid on. Where this lid with screen comes in, gently fuss with it a bit, and after you've done it once or twice, the screen takes the shape. Here's where the cover comes in. These are almonds. Almonds need to be soaked at least overnight before you eat them. And it's really best if you soak them for 3 days. And by having this cover on here nice and tight, you just dump out the water. And I like to give them a rinse like this with just tap water. Because you'll find that it's really highly colored. These have just been soaking. I put them on about 6 a.m. so they've only been soaking 6 hours. And then I'm going to cover them up pretty well again. These have been draining for a bit, so now I'm going to take and set them, I'm going to knock the seeds down to the bottom again and set them at a 45-degree angle. If I get it just right, I can use the bottom row to hold up the top. Oops. My almonds are ready. Same thing here. Get the seeds down the bottom so they get air in them. You want them to dry out and get air. Balance the two together. That's why the square jars work a little better than round ones too. And there we go. Let's see, what else do I need to do this morning? I'm going to do a jar of peas. Since I have some peas left. A little bit more. You find on the larger seeds you can put more in the bag. On the smaller seeds, once they really start growing, like the alfalfa and the alfalfa mixes, when they really start growing, you need half that bottle for breakfast, and by tomorrow morning that bottle will be full again, and it'll stay full like that for a few days. So these will soak. After soaking overnight, let's just call that 6 to 12 hours, and after one day on the window ledge, technically they're already sprouting. They're already having that booming of vitamins, minerals, and biophotonic energy, life energy. So even after one day, even when they don't look too sprouted, like the sunflower seeds, these are 2 days old, and yet these are great to eat. Now they'll get much, much larger, but I'll start throwing them in the blender. Well, matter of fact, I used some out of the blender earlier today. And, oh, the wheatgrass. You can do a couple things with your wheat seeds. Now, I buy wheat seeds in 20-pound bags or larger. In my storage tray here, I have a whole storage tray of wheat seed. And they're also great to grow on flats and trays outside. But when you're reading the book about Dr. Ann's Rejuvelac, I soak my wheat seeds for the first day. I pour it off. I rinse them. I soak them in filtered water the second day. On the second day, I save the water because that's a mild form of Rejuvelac. Go ahead. You guys save it all. Rinse them again. It smells like Rejuvelac. And this is it's a really refreshing drink. It's a lightly fermented food. And on hot summer days, I find it more satisfying than drinking water. And you can do that. There is one trick to this when it's soaking. And I'm going to fill this one all the way up. Get my money's worth out of it. You do, and I actually take the lid back off to remind myself that I do want to stir this about every 6 hours, every 8 hours. So at meal times I'll give that a stir. And tomorrow morning some more Rejuvelac. And I'll let that soak and make Rejuvelac like that for 3 or 4 days before I put it over here in the sprouting tray. What else? These little tubs and a little bin are handy. That's really it. These are going to soak before I go to bed tonight. That's Rejuvelac. Before I go to bed tonight, again, I'm going to drain this off, rinse it a bit under tap water, and then I'm going to put them up here. And you'll find a cycle where every 2 or 3 days you got something soaking, you start sprouting. By the time you use them up, you're starting another cycle. And once you get the cycle flowing, you've always got fresh sprouts. My cost of sprouts, probably 25% of my green smoothies is fresh sprouts. I probably spend 20 cents a day on sprouts. I mean, I'll go out and buy $25, $30 worth of seeds at a time, and that will last me for several months. So that's $10 a month. So 30 cents, 35 cents a day for more sprouts than you'd buy at the store for $5 to $10. That's it. That's the ease and beauty of sprouting in the kitchen.